Thunderstorms are popping up now in the northeast, a lot of watch areas for the region, and also more showers and storms in the western Gulf of Mexico, and likewise in South Carolina, and developing now in Georgia.
Record-breaking heat, another big story again today as the heat builds up for the eastern half of the country. A lot of utilities, too, asking customers to conserve energy just as much as possible to prevent any type of outages. Good afternoon on this hot day, and welcome to Weather Center. I'm Paul Emick.
And I'm Bill Keneally. Thanks again for joining us the day after the holiday. We don't have any holiday from the heat out there, Paul. It is brutal out there, trust me.
Hang on. Hang on.
Hang on. Right. Bear with it, I'd say. Better times ahead. The tropics getting a little heated up, too. More on that in a minute. First up, though, the big story, obviously, the heat. Let's take you to Boston, where, ironically, it's really not that bad. 74 in Boston versus, say, 94 in Manchester, New Hampshire, 97 in downtown Hartford, Connecticut. So you guys are getting off relatively easy here. The breeze off the ocean definitely helping matters as it looks like a backdoor front's come on by. But a lot of folks don't seem to mind. They're just making the most of it all.
Seeing as I'm working outdoors all winter and freezing, I'm going to enjoy every bit of this, and I'm not going to complain because it's going to be over before.
All right, again, the radar and the satellite picture showing that there is a line of cloud cover. That is going to be your salvation. Hang in there, Syracuse, New York. I know last night, or was it yesterday morning, had a low of 80 in Syracuse, New York. Just incredible. But again, cooler Canadian air is coming east and southward. Call your buddies in Chicago. They'll tell you all about it. And they'll love to, as it's just a delightful day compared to even 6 hours ago now. Same holds true in Madison and also Minneapolis. But again, brutal, I think, is the word for the big cities west of Boston. Hartford, New York, Philadelphia, Washington. A whole slew of records already today. We'll run them by you momentarily. Very interesting. We have a little backdoor front kind of sliding down from Boston over to Portsmouth. And north and east of here, it's truly Atlantic Canada air or maritime air, but you get south and west of Beantown, and not very far either. You hop into the heat in a big way. As mentioned in the Connecticut Valley, 97 in Hartford, and still records flirting with, if not exceeding 100 from New York City down towards Washington. The problem here is a downslope or an offshore flow. We continue to have that. And again, it's hot enough in Pittsburgh, but then you take this heat and you drive it over the hills here and drive it down off the Poconos and off the Catskills, and it bakes even further. So if you're low in elevation, there's really no salvation today, even at the beaches on Long Island and the Jersey Shore, most areas well into the 90s. Here are the numbers. Look at the contrast. 66 in Bangor, 74 in Beantown. You get out beyond 495, you're talking 90 out there west of Marlborough, Mass, and 90s widespread. The Connecticut Valley area, New York City, flirting with 100 officially at LaGuardia. 100 in Washington, D.C. We've had records already today. We'll have those for you in a minute. Again, 99 in New York with a dew point of 70. Not a very good equation, trust me. Feels like 107 in the big town and 109 in D.C. But going west, you got to go pretty far west. It only feels like 88 in Detroit as a drier air is just starting to bleed into the Motor City. Again, we've had records, lots of them too. Washington National Airport downtown, 101. Harrisburg at 100. The Park at 99, and I think we're going to outdo ourselves there next hour. Allentown at 99. Atlantic City 97. And Bridgeport out there by Sikorsky Field at 94 degrees. Again, the Southland dealing with some rainfall, helping to quell the heat wave somewhat. But we continue to find a warm day. 94 in Dallas, 100 in Raleigh, North Carolina. You guys could actually dry out some tomorrow night as well, so I think there's going to be some relief down the pike a bit. 89 in Atlanta. In Atlanta, though, the good news is the governor is feeling very nice these days. The governor, Roy Barnes, newly elected governor, is actually getting free ice cream distributed today on the state capitol steps. So if you want to make that jaunt downtown, it would be well worth your while. And what are we, like 10 or 11 miles away, Paul? I think we're going to head down there after our next show. But again, ice cream, not a bad thing with 89 and a dew point of 74. A very sticky day. Feels like 100 in Birmingham, 97 in Atlanta. And again, a whopper of a day. Please, I implore you, take it easy in Raleigh, North Carolina. The good news is better, drier air working in Minneapolis, Madison, and even Chicago. Northwest flow, trucking the air from Canada, drying it out. Just a pristine day. for July in Minnesota and Wisconsin, and now much of Michigan, and even Chicago at 83. A lot drier than it has been. 79 with a dew point of 50. Just an awesome day in Minneapolis, St. Paul. We'll head to the west. We've had cool Canadian air camped out for a while out here, and we've had record lows. 66 now in Cutbank, 73 in Spokane. Last night, though, record lows as low as 35 degrees in Belgrade, Montana, 40 in Havre, Montana. Storms out there today, too. For more on that, here's Paul.
That's right, Bill. Heat's not the only game in town. Scattered showers and storms affecting us in the northeast, southeast, and potentially the south, central, and southwestern U.S. We'll take a look at all the happenings now, coast to coast. As you look across the country, you see a pretty sizable front making a cooling difference around Chicagoland and destined to give us a cooler day, too, toward New York City. Bring it on. Looking forward to it cooling out a little bit here. On toward Boston, cool air is on the way, too. It's going to take a little while to work it here, though. Southeastern U.S., we've got some wetter weather, too. We've got some sticky conditions in many parts of the country. Ahead of the front, that's where the showers and storms are most numerous still. In the parts of Maine, including Oxford County, rather stormy. Vermont, New Hampshire, on across parts of New York State, including now around Rensselaer and Albany County. We have severe thunderstorm warnings in our region. Plenty of fuel. Sometimes you get a pretty stable atmosphere, and you may not be seeing storms but sticky conditions. But if you have the moisture, instability, and lift all together, you can use this as fuel for these big storms to fire up. In New York and parts of Georgia, we're doing that now. Severe risk anywhere you see the red shade, including parts of South Carolina, also into parts of Arizona into the day. I mentioned the warm sector. That's where the storms are most numerous presently. Even parts of Ohio now with a severe thunderstorm watch, and bits of Georgia, too. And around Lamoille County into Vermont, we've been seeing some wind damage. Big tree knocked down across Route 100. The risk here will linger today throughout our day of seeing more severe weather. We've got that problem. But a pretty strong wind at the mid-levels means we've got a better likelihood of seeing wind being the primary driving force. Still some heavy rain, an inch or more in a few areas, but the primary risk from the severe weather, wind damage, as the front nears. Expect that to continue in the afternoon. Southern U.S., a few showers and storms linger into parts of Georgia. You've got a few severe thunderstorm warnings also into parts of South Carolina and North Carolina, too, where the activity has been quite active here in the last few hours. Out around the Battery in Charleston, the chance of more storms. Also around Myrtle Beach, some additional active weather could be into the region. As far as the amounts of precip, maybe an inch or more in a few areas. Around Houston Metro, we can really pile it on, too, and expect that to linger into our afternoon. Now, in Louisiana, we are seeing some wetter weather in the Bayou country. Also across Houston, too, we've dealt with some wetter weather. New Mexico starting to fire up just a little bit, too, with some storms into our region as well. As we look across the country, we've seen a lot of active weather with the precipitation piling up coast to coast. We now need to talk a little bit about the happenings in the forecast just ahead. But first, let's talk tropics. With that big story, here's Bill Keneally.
Okay, thanks a lot, Paul. Again, we'll continue to monitor the areas east of the Caribbean islands. Two areas, actually. One cluster right here over the central Lesser Antilles. Heavy rain this hour in Martinique. We've had heavy rain, too, down around Bridgetown, Barbados. This area will likely weaken as it gets into an unfavorable area later on today and tonight. Big, broad area, though, we're watching, as is the hurricane center. We'll continue to monitor it. Looks like it might have a big, broad, weak circulation, but development here, likewise, should be pretty slow, but we'll watch it. Now for that forecast, here's Paul.
Let's have a look now at the happenings of our forecast here. Ahead of our front, we've got some additional storms popping up quite a bit across the southeastern U.S. and the southwest, too. The heating is going to help to further stabilize the atmosphere, kicking off some additional storms. In the morning hours, you're going to see a big cooling difference taking place. High pressure spalling out around Chicago and even on the northeast, too. Expect conditions here to improve quite a bit. Along the front, though, conditions will be still ripe for a few storms, including mid-Atlantic around the Norfolk-Hampton roads, too. We'll see some active weather. As far as the heat goes, it's going to disappear just a little bit from the New York City area. That's going to be nice. It's going to be even cooler into our day Thursday, too, so good news in that regard.
All right, you got to like that benevolent Governor Roy Barnes here in Georgia, huh? Free ice cream in Atlanta, folks.
Not a bad idea. On the way, we'll talk about some active weather and its effect on the roadways and travel-wise next.
This program was sponsored by Certainty Building Products for durability and ease of use. Satisfaction guaranteed.
This is our dream house.
Some dream.
Come back down this way.
Took him 2 years to choose the building materials.
It's like a canary, isn't it?
He's obsessed.
I'm thorough. I have this whole card catalog system. Did an interview process on the crew. I just need some information. So we're thinking about going turn of the century in here. That sound good? I like to know what's under the carpet. You know, what's over my head. I chose Certainty. I really trust their products.
It's exactly what the builder said 2 years ago.
Are you going to put this up now? Can I help? JJ?
The right people, the right services, the right products. Penske Auto Center. And the right oil change is the exclusive Crew Chief full-service oil change with Mobile. Penske Crew Chief full-service oil change, $19.99 every day. No coupons, no appointments.
Introducing the new Encore Movie Channel. Now you'll get recent, big, hit movies. So call 800-210-4000 for the new Encore Movie Channel and a great movie every night, guaranteed.
Call your local cable or satellite provider.
Now, your local forecast on the Weather Channel.